Hi, this is Wayne's World of Wrestling, and I'm Wayne Gilmore. Tonight's episode is called Heymans Hands on Raw. It's all about Paul Heyman being the executive director of Monday Night Raw and how much he's boosted morale around the Raw locker room. I'm really excited about reading what's happening on Raw at the moment, and I'm very happy for the stars on Raw and under Heyman's management skills. The story comes from Sportskeeda's Tom Collahue. He spoke about a backstage source in WWE that Heymans created a renewed positivity behind the scenes. Collahue wrote, Heyman has instilled a sense of management approachability. Wrestlers who had previously aired concerns about airtime opportunities have been listened to and received greater focus. People feel wanted now, and the absence of disgruntled stars like Luke Harper and Mike Kanellis have helped this too. Rollins was under a lot of pressure as a leader, and the source states Randy now being there, and everyone looks up to him too. Indie guys have AJ as well, and not just one guy anymore. It's a lot better for everyone involved. Encouraging this has been for people. Instead of in 2019, several reports of backstage dissent made worse by likes of Harper, Kanellis and the Revival wanting out of their contracts. So it's good that Heyman has a reputation as a personable, approachable figurehead, and this is changing the landscape for people around the locker room. So I'm quite happy with hearing this. And I've also heard today as well that Heyman's been booking unscripted segments, which that for me is even better for Raw, because there's too much kind of robotic segments when you just listen to the wrestlers and it's as if they're being told what to say too much, and it makes it just too boring for me. I read today on Busted Open Radio with Mark Henry and Bully Ray that on the 13th of January episode of Raw, it was actually R-Truth and Heyman that knew what was going to happen for the 10 minutes they were in the ring, and Brock Lesnar didn't have a clue. The purpose for this was to get Brock to crack, as he was unaware what was going on, and it was designed to break Brock down mentally, and it worked because they had never seen him laugh like that so much. Also, well, I found that funny as well. Also revealed by Jerry Lawler that Lesnar and Heyman went off script when they approached the announcer's desk on the 6th of January episode of Raw, after they told the fans that Lesnar was going to be in the Rumble, the first entrant in the Royal Rumble 2020. They both went up to the table, the announcer's table, and Lesnar puts his horn on Lawler's shoulder, and then Heyman told Lawler to say nice stuff about his client. So again, that was meant to be unscripted as well. So I'm hoping this is a sign of things to come. Unscripted segments are a lot better than like I said before, the robot wrestling. Sticking to scripts that bore the shite out of me, and I'm sure it bores the shite out of a lot of fans as well, because I've read it online. People are bored of it. My mate Jim, who was on this podcast last week, is bored of it as well. Again, I'm thinking, is this copying AEW? Because they're letting them, AEW, I know that their wrestlers are allowed to say what they're wanting to say. They're trying to no script them too much, or not at all. I'm not quite sure if it's 100%, not scripted. Knowing this is what they have been letting their wrestlers do, is this what WWE are trying to do now because they can see it's working for AEW stars? Again, I'm not sure what's fully going on, but if that's the case, I'd like to see that happening more on Raw, because it would make it better for my liking after what I've seen on Raw over the past good year or so, maybe even more than that. So for me, the next bit is who was the best manager ever, and I've put it down to three guys. Paul Heyman, who I've been talking about, Heenan, Bobby the Brain, and Jim Cornette. These are my three fave managers in the business of pro wrestling. Heenan, I'll start with. I'll start off with his comedy aspect. I found him hilarious. Pro wrestling is funny anyway, and Heenan had made so many laugh out loud moments. He, in my opinion, he could have been a comedian outside the wrestling. I loved him as a shit talker and commentating with Monsoon, probably my favourite commentating team. Monsoon was always trying to keep him right and keep him in line, and Heenan would be able to take the piss out of him in any way he could, and I just found it so funny. Could take the piss out of anyone, but when he had to face up to the actions and be caught out with them, he would always cower away with the hands up, and I just always found that so funny, and I just loved him for it. If as a manager, it was the Heenan family over the years in WWF would include, he had guys like the Olympic strongman Ken Patera, Playboy Buddy Rose, Mr. Wonderful Paul Orndorff, King Kong Bundy, Andre the Giant, High Chief Siviafi, the Brainbusters, Ravishing Rick Rude. I loved Ravishing Rick Rude. Quality wrestler, so good in the mic, such a good heel, really good wrestler as well for me. Enjoyed him, enjoyed his matches with the Ultimate Warrior. King Harley Race, absolute legend, really tough guy. The Islanders, who were Haku and Tama, Hercules, the Barbarian, Mr. Perfect. Mr. Perfect was Mr. Perfect, you know what I mean? Loved his match with Bret Hart at SummerSlam 91. One of the best matches. I could watch that over and over again. The Red Rooster, I'd not say much about him, to be honest. The Brooklyn Brawler, had a feud with Hulk Hogan in the 80s. He was two WrestleMania challengers to Hogan's title. King Kong Bundy, the second WrestleMania, and then Andre the Giant, the WrestleMania after it, WrestleMania 3, with the big massive crowd at the Silverdome. Andre the Giant getting slammed, and obviously everybody knows that. It's an iconic moment and stuff, and in front of 93,000. I can't remember the hundreds, but 93,000 and odd. Massive WrestleMania. But so many things Bobby Heenan had going for him. A great heel, great psychology, just so funny, and I just think he's definitely one of the best managers going. And he was definitely a legend in the managerial game, and obviously as a commentator when Ric Flair turned up as well, he was calling him the real world champion, and he could have, he just saying he was better than Hogan, and well, I believe that anyway. He was better than Hogan, so but I just loved him when he used to slag all the other wrestlers, and Monsoon used to be like, would you stop, and all that, and I just thought he was so funny, and some of the stuff he would come out was quite controversial at that point. Well, not at that point it was funny, but if you hear him now, and people probably like, oh, what's he saying that for? And, oh, you can't say that. It's not politically correct, or it's, oh, you've offended me. Fuck off. If it's offended you, stop listening, or stop being a pussy. You know what I mean? It's like, this day and age, you can't say fuck off if it's somebody greeting about it, or it's just annoying as fuck. You can't say stuff these days without somebody greeting about it. Anyway, Bobby the Brain, one of the best for me. I really enjoyed him with Gorilla Monsoon. Like I said, Andre the Giant, Rick Rude, Mr. Perfect. They just had so many guys in the Heenan family. Really enjoyed him as a manager and a commentator. Rest in peace, Bobby Heenan. Great guy. I'm sure he's up in heaven partying with all the other wrestlers and managers who have passed on as well. Anyway, next for me is Jim Cornette, another legend. I listen to his podcasts now and again. If you listen to, was it Learning the Ropes last week when we were talking about AEW, I think it was Learning the Ropes, or maybe my one, either one it was, I was kind of saying I was a wee bit put off with him recently because he was kind of slagging AEW a lot, but either way, still some of the stuff he says is makes a lot of sense, because he does talk a lot of sense and he knows what he's talking about. He is a genius. So his main thing for me was his negotiation skills. He's always knew all loopholes and was a catalyst for some great rivalries and stipulations. He was a smart ass while doing it. Bill Watts from Mid-South Wrestling said he was obnoxious. I wanted to slap him. I knew he was instant box office if he could get me that riled up. And that was a quote from Bill Watts. So that's a funny quote. And that was the guy that wanted to... That was the guy that signed him up for his promotion. Made his name as a manager of Midnight Express alongside a lot of others, but that was his kind of big tag team for a while. Really, really good tag team, and they had a big rivalry with the Rock and Roll Express back in the 80s. I think it even stemmed into maybe even into the 90s. He was famous for, he'd done so many things, but Smoky Mountain promotion, if it wasn't for that, there wouldn't be a lot of people coming through to WCW and WWF at the time. People like who was it? Bob Holly came through there. Al Snow, Balls Mahoney, Chris Jericho, Glenn Jacobs, who's a mayor now, but he was called Unabomb, later known as Kane. Most of you all know him as Kane. Lance Storm, Chris Candido, Tammy Lynch, Brian Gerard James, and that's the Road Dogg, D'Lo Brown. So a hell of a lot of names there that end up going on to bigger things. But he did get pissed off with WWE because, or WWF at the time. I've heard him going on about in his podcasts at different times because they would take certain people and use them in a way that was embarrassing or just shocking to him, because he would see these guys in a totally different way WWE did, and they would just turn them into idiots. The number one example was Eugene. Eugene was a really good wrestler down in Smoky Mountain promotion, and then they took him up and turned him into what Jim Cornette worded as a retard. And when he was put onto that into national TV, you can't go away from that kind of character, and that was him. He was made to look like that for the rest of his career, and he was actually a really good solid wrestler down in Smoky Mountain, apparently. I've not actually watched a match of him, no being Eugene, but I'm interested in maybe watching the guy to see what he ends up actually being like before WWE. So he brought up a lot of different guys, but he wasn't happy with some of the way they were treated. But Jim Cornette, so many different things. He was like he was a dick, with a dicky a heel. He did the tennis racket and stuff, and I also heard that in the tennis racket, because some of the fans were that aggressive back in the 80s, he actually had a horseshoe in the tennis racket bag. He put it inside there to fend off some of the more aggressive fans. So that was a bit crazy hearing that as well. So that's Jim Cornette, or a wee bit about him anyway. And on to the last guy who I was talking about first, Paul Heyman. I think he brings his abilities and experience and makes his clients better. And this is the reason why the Raw locker room is a lot more upbeat than now. He started managing in WCW and ECW. Guys like Stunning Steve Austin, who we know as Stone Cold, and Sabu. He made these two, amongst others, better than they were when he first started with them. On ECW, he's a passionate owner of ECW. An entire federation was going to stand up and go to war for his wrestlers, and more importantly, the fans. This was a major thing from anyone before. He had his fans believing ECW was a mainstream pro wrestling revolution. He had the same intensity to his on-screen role as he had as a manager in WCW. I feel he's got so much passion for everything he does, and that's why he's got the locker room on Raw buzzing again, as if they feel like they're one show, and he truly believes that they're making a difference again. And I think that's why morale's up, and they believe that they're there just for more than just the money. They're there for the show, and I'm glad McMahon is letting him prove what he can do. Even when managing people like Brock Lesnar the first time round, he was in WWE. Taz spoke to him about Brock Lesnar. he was a developmental wrestler. Heyman began mentoring Lesnar. McMahon decided to make Heyman Lesnar's manager. Heyman helped Lesnar capture the undisputed title, and Lesnar had only been in WWE for 126 days, I think, when he beat The Rock at SummerSlam. So he was the youngest undisputed champion at the time. And then Heyman turned on Lesnar at Survivor Series the same year and allied himself with Big Show, which helped him win the title from Lesnar in the process, which was so dramatic, and everybody's like, oh, shocked. And again, it was classic. It's classic Heyman, just turning wrestling into complete theatre, and that's what he always does. And I also just love how he can change things straight away. He's just so good at what he does, and I just love how he can change everything. And he's got he's on the mic. He can make people hate him so quick. Commentating with Jim Ross, he was on the commentating team for 11 months, I think it was, and some people didn't expect much from him, but him and Jim Ross were really good together, because Jim Ross has got so much. Well, Jim Ross is probably the best commentator ever, but he's got so much. Heyman's got so much knowledge of wrestling, and Jim Ross is with him, so the two of them worked out quite well. And then you had him as Heyman was the SmackDown general manager from 2003 to 4. Him and Bischoff was their actual chemistry between the two of them, or was it real tension? Who knows? Or was it a bit of a mixture of both? His promo master classes throughout the decades, he always related himself with the fans, make sure it comes from the heart. Wrestlers such as Stone Cold and The Rock praised Heyman for how much he helped them in their promos early in their careers, to make sure they say it from the heart, and that means that the crowd would always understand that that's where it's from, and the crowd would always relate to it, and the crowd would always love it. Heyman guys, again, he's been with notable guys: CM Punk, Brock Lesnar, Big Show, Van Damme and Angle. Pretty much they've always had titles under him. CM Punk, I don't know if he really needed Heyman, or I didn't think he needed him, because he's good in the night himself. Unlike Lesnar, he kind of needs him. But I felt when they were together, him and Punk they were still great together. Especially, like, I was at WrestleMania 29 for Undertaker Punk, and the build up to that match, I just loved it. So for me, everything that Heyman's done as a manager, out of the three picks, I'm going to just give it to Heyman, but the other two are just so good as well. You know what I mean? They're just the three of them are good. They're all good in their own way, but I just think Heyman's just get that something extra than the rest of them. And what he done with ECW, he took on WWE and WCW. Fair enough, they were never as big as they two, but it was an alternative, and it went for a good few years, and he done well, and he fought against the big companies, and made the fans believe they were a revolution. And now he's on Raw, and he's helping the wrestlers be happier, and that's what you want. A happier worker is a more productive worker. So thanks for listening tonight. Again, I was a bit nervous with it. Jim, I think. With me and Jim, it was a bit more easygoing because you talk away and he talks away, blah, blah, blah. So anyway, thanks for listening. Hope you tune in next week. God bless you all and good night. Bye-bye.